All right, folks, take a quick look here at Ondo, and this is a request from our community. Obviously, make sure you comment below. Let me know what coins you want me to make sure to go ahead and cover. And obviously, let me know what coins you're actually trading right now, too. Love to hear that. Always interested in new opportunities. So let's take a look here at the side-by-side comparison with Ondo first, just kind of get a baseline on how well or poorly it is performing versus Bitcoin. If we kind of side-by-side these coins, they look pretty darn identical. Slightly more of an increase here recently outside of this most recent down candle here from Bitcoin. So if you exclude the last hour, you can see that Ondo is performing very well, at least better in the last 4 hours. So what that tells us, generally speaking, is that it is susceptible still to pullback, but it's also looking like it wants to try to break out. And that can be a favorable sign. Let's take a look here at the backend data here for Ondo and just double check the open interest ranges here. We can see pretty significant range here at about 46, 47 cents. So we're right there in that lower area of support. We have previous open interest as well, which kind of reiterates and reaffirms that this is a good support range for us. Now, heaven forbid we do end up losing 46 cents. We'll probably continue much lower. But at this point here, from a bird's eye view, that's a good sign for the current range. Now, if Bitcoin pulls back, be mindful, Ondo will too, pretty much the whole market will. But at this point, if Bitcoin were to continue to slowly progress upwards, I think Ondo will too, maybe even 1.5, 2x of it, at least based on a lower time frame kind of shift in momentum here. We are seeing altcoin dominance increasing by a little bit and Bitcoin dominance going sideways. That can be favorable for altcoins. Looking at liquidation delta too, we can recognize we're at 30 million to the downside, starting to plateau, but that's still a pretty big overextension. There's also a significant amount of liquidation on the downside too here as well. This last 3 days, keep in mind, and this can be kind of sparse, but we look at 45 cents. That's kind of the next area that has the most amount of volume. If we zoom out a little bit, we may be able to get a better understanding of where we're at here. Let's quickly recognize last 7 days tells us that we have the most liquidation at about 44, 45 cents. So hypothetically, we see a sweep of 45 to 46. That would be a good consideration for long for that natural capitulation. Obviously, it really depends on how Bitcoin performs, but you can see that Ondo laid down pretty significant versus Bitcoin last 4 hours, right? Or at least, sorry, in the last, ever since we pulled back, but more so on the 4-hour time frame. So let me just show you this here a little bit easier, so you can kind of see that structure. We can see Bitcoin establishing higher highs and higher lows overall, basically working itself into a bearish type of flag pattern. And Ondo is essentially triple bottoming. Now you'll probably think it's quickly top of your head, you're like, oh wait, triple bottom, I'm going to take a long now, right? And it's not necessarily the case. If you look at a triple bottom and you compare that with Bitcoin on the edge of potential disaster here, I do still think that Bitcoin can pull back to the 88K range. What happens when Bitcoin hits 88K? Ondo is going to be in the lower low pattern and effectively breaking its structure, likely to close below 45 cents at that point. So I think it's a little, from a spot back perspective, I don't see a problem with adding to your spot back and setting limit orders and way down. But from a leverage position standpoint, this is a very high risk and generally not something you want to try to trade. Once again, I'm always going to err on the side of caution and recommend not trading, because that's kind of how it's supposed to work. Let's go ahead and clear out some of these old drawings here. Quickly get some understanding on this descending trend and just kind of recognize, hey, we are still in a descending trend, folks. There's nothing magnificent about this this current price point. So once more, generally speaking, I like to be at least above the descending trend line or the 20-day SMA as a starting point, just to give me some perspective there on whether or not I should consider taking a long. So in this situation here, the best trade is no trade unless you're going to consider a very tight trade to one of the local liquidation ranges. There's not a whole heck of a lot here telling us that we're like shifting momentum. Yes, we previously had a bullish divergence or convergence on the RSI. That's all well and good, but that ship's already sailed, right? So nothing really looking good here. Not trying to hate on this coin, just letting you know straightforward that's how it looks to me. And that's how I'm always going to do it, right, folks? I'm not going to just tell you what you want to hear. That's not really what I do. I just tell you how it is, and really I always try to take a safer approach, right? There's a reason why we are successful as a community, because we don't take a ton of trades and we don't take too high a risk trades. Like Bitcoin, we shorted Bitcoin 62%, 45 for Solana. And those were just trades that we took here semi-recently, just last week. Not a whole heck of a lot of them. And we have multiple targets, entry and exit positions, to make sure that we always find a good opportunity. Okay, so I provide that to my community course. If you want to, consider links down below, cryptocash.tech. I do have a discount right now as well for December for a larger or longer terms, so to speak, with CryptoPay. So it's available for you, of course. Let me know if you have any questions. Obviously, reach out. Don't forget to join us over at Bitunix too. We have a really awesome leaderboard going on right now here with this volume trading reward prize pool. It's pretty awesome. You get $50,000 USDT split amongst the top, 10 or 20 traders. And there's an iPhone up for grabs for the first place there. So check that out. It's all linked down below. If you use my link to register, you're always eligible for future trading competitions and bonuses. So be sure to check that out. I hope you have a good rest of your day. I do appreciate you watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe. We'll look forward to seeing the next one. Take care.